Most people hear the coo before they notice the bird. It sounds sad, almost like the yard is remembering something. Then a mourning dove drops from the wire without drama, lands on the ground, and the whole yard seems to lower its voice. But she is not bringing a message from nowhere. She is reading a message already written into your yard. A mourning dove does not simply visit, she studies the whole yard. She decides whether your space is safe enough to trust. Before she lands, she has probably watched from a wire, branch, or roof edge for longer than you realize. She is checking seed, cover, sightlines, noise, and movement. That stillness is not emptiness. It is calculation without hurry. A group of sparrows bursts away from the feeder, and only after the noise clears does the dove step into view. She prefers a yard where panic has not already started. No scolding, no alarm calls, no sudden warning from other birds. The quiet around her arrival is part of the evidence. First, she listens for what is missing. A mourning dove does not usually rush into a yard. She waits until the rhythm of the place becomes predictable. Her small head tilt is a careful reading of motion and distance. The click of a door matters. So does a dog behind glass. So does the distance between seed and the nearest escape branch. After landing, she waits upright before trusting the first seed. That pause is the second reading, taken from ground level. If the yard passes twice, she begins to feed. Her visit is a safety report. Ooh, what she is saying is not mystical, but it is intimate. Your yard has become readable, calm, and worth returning to. A pair of doves arrives a few seconds apart, then spreads out quietly instead of crowding the same patch. When they come as a pair, the choice becomes larger. They may be evaluating food, cover, and future nesting nearby. Viewers notice this because pairs feel like returning neighbors. One dove pecks, takes 2 measured steps, pecks again, and keeps the same quiet rhythm across the open ground. The ground is where her intelligence shows. A dove at the feeder is not just eating slowly. She is loading seed into a stretchable pouch called the crop. She picks up seed quickly, swallows, steps forward, and keeps loading while her body stays calm, round, and unhurried. The digestion can happen later, somewhere safer and higher. That is why her visit can look brief but purposeful. Suddenly she lifts off from the ground, and the wing feathers make that sharp whistling sound many people recognize. The whistle is not her voice. It comes from flight feathers. To other doves, that sound can act like warning. Even her silence has sound built into it. On a wire above the yard, a male dove raises his chest and releases the soft, drawn-out coo. People often mistake that call for an owl nearby. But it is not sadness in the human sense. It is contact, presence, and location carried through air. A second dove glides in from a nearby roof, lands a few feet away, and both birds settle into quiet. This is why listeners describe the sound as calming. For many people, the coo becomes part of home. The call is not grief. It is contact. Then there is the nest, which looks almost impossible. A male dove brings one small twig, places it awkwardly near the nest, and the platform still looks unfinished afterward. Commenters recognize this immediately. 5 sticks, full commitment, endless patience. The architecture is terrible, but the parenting is not. One parent rises carefully from the nest as the other settles down, keeping the eggs covered through the exchange. Both parents incubate, and both can feed the young. For the first days, the chicks receive crop milk. A parent leans to the nestlings, feeding them gently beak to beak, while the other parent watches quietly nearby. It is made inside the crop, rich with fat and protein. The clumsy nest hides serious devotion. So what should you do if one chooses your yard? First, protect the pattern she has already learned in your yard. A calm adult refills a low platform feeder, closes the seed container, and slowly steps away from the yard. Keep seed reachable on a platform or clean open ground. Millet, cracked corn, and sunflower hearts suit her better. A calm adult rinses a shallow water dish, places it back low, and leaves the frame before birds return. Avoid sudden changes right along the escape path she trusts. Do not chase the close view by walking toward her. From behind the kitchen window, a calm adult stays still while the dove feeds and finally relaxes its posture. Trust is mostly consistency. There are exceptions, and they matter for the bird's safety. A visit does not prove a bird is tame or asking rescue. A dove freezes, looks toward a moving shadow near the feeder, then lifts away before anything gets too close. If a bird is injured, contact a licensed wildlife rehabilitator. If nesting happens near you, give space and keep routines gentle. The goal is not control. It is safer coexistence. Do not turn trust into pressure. Now the ordinary dove begins to look less ordinary. She makes crop milk, returns to roots, and remembers useful places. An older-looking dove lands on the same fence, pauses in morning light, then drops toward the familiar feeding place. Some doves live far longer than people expect from such fragile birds. The one outside your window may know your yard's history. A calm adult watches from inside as the dove feeds. Then the bird lifts softly back toward the fence. If she comes back tomorrow, notice the direction she chooses. Tell me where your mourning doves appear. Fence, balcony, planter, or porch? A final dove pair walks through scattered seed, pauses together in the morning light. Then one gives a small, calm coo. Subscribe for quieter bird science that changes how your yard feels. The yard was speaking. The dove understood first.